Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Hickory Motor Speedway for the Mtn Dew Modified Tour presented by Tagare Property Management. Folks, today is going to be one of the more exciting races here at this short track Hickory Motor Speedway, the birthplace of NASCAR stars. You can see it on the back of on the sign there. On screen, it is where drivers will prove themselves to really show out here. So, as always, my name is Mason Heimbaugh with Team Goon Squad, bringing you the action in 1080p, 60 frames a second. I hope you all are excited and ready for another race here with Mtn Dew Modified Tour, presented by Tagare Property Management, as drivers get themselves ready to go and started for their qualifying for today. You can see already a couple drivers have made their way around the track and have completed their qualifying times for today. Andrew Payne in that number 93 machine going to be taking the lead here for today. Going to be starting out front for the first duel of today. We do have dual features for tonight. The first one being 30 laps in length. The next one, the final one for tonight, 60 laps in total for tonight's race. For the duels, I should say. But as we're looking here, as we're continuing to see drivers can complete their lap times, you can see David Payton as well as Brett Hahn both working their way into the top three there. We'll see if that is where they're going to stay, as there are still a few other drivers that are working their way around the track as we speak. Nick Fleury in the number 25 machine going to be taking a few extra laps here, it looks like, here as well. Also want to mention that drivers here are also going to have the old school paint schemes. We're doing a throwback night here at Hickory. So if you see some retro paint schemes for some of your favorite drivers here, that is going to be the reason for that here tonight. As it looks like majority of our field here has begun to complete their qualifying laps here. Looks like Robert Besaw in the number 3 machine going to work his way now into the top 10 as he works his way into P9. Going to start himself very well here for the first duel of the night. And all of these drivers here have done absolutely incredible work here. You can see on the timing tower as well just kind of how close in time these guys are, especially if you look towards the top 10. We're going to see some very tight competition between a lot of these guys here, as there are only 2 minutes left here in qualifying. So now it's going to be a matter of drivers getting themselves ready and prepared going into the first duel of the night. Right now, Eric Hahn going to be working his way around the track a couple extra times, get that extra practice in while he still can. As here today, this is going to be where we see a lot of battles here tonight, folks. I think this is definitely going to be a challenge for a lot of these drivers here, and we are going to be watching as much as we possibly can with these drivers and how they're all going to handle driving here at Hickory against one another in such well, I would say they have a little bit more room than they usually do, but going into these turns, it definitely starts to tighten up a little bit. So with that out of the way, Eric Hahn going to come down into pit road and send it back behind the wall, awaiting to begin gridding. Just a few seconds here. And now, folks, I also I want to say here that this has been quite the season for all of these drivers. Coming into this season, I wasn't too sure what I would expect, but these guys have definitely shown that they are here to put on some good racing, and they have done exactly that here so far. But starting out on the front row, Noah Boucher in first place in that number 16 machine with Steve Cigars in the 973. Going to be in second place, Robert Besaw Jr. Going to take that number 3 spot. Austin Nielsen going to be in fourth, rounding out the second row. Zach Heiser going to be in fifth place in the 14 machine with Billy Thomas going to take sixth place, rounding out your third row. Charles Darling in seventh with Brad Prenger in eighth. Al Smith Jr. going to be in ninth place. Brett Hahn in 10th. David Payton in 11th. Andrew Payne in 12th. Rex Hoyle in 13th. John Kane in 14th. Nick Fleury in 15th. Eric Hahn in 16th. Nathan Henry in 17th. John Sinu in 18th. Leo Lortz in 19th. Christopher Campbell in 20th. Hayden Swank in 21st. John DeMeester in 22nd. Jacob Porter rounding out the field in 23rd. That is going to be our starting grid here for tonight, for the first duel of tonight. As you can see on the top of your screen, 30 laps that we are going to be doing here at Hickory for the first feature of the night. And with the field having been flipped around for the start of this race, I have a feeling things are going to get interesting here very quickly right off the start. So looking up here in the front of the field with Noah Boucher in the 16 machine, you can see on the inside in that black, yellow, and red striped machine down low, as well as Steve Cigars in the 973 on his outside. Out on the front row. And it looks like actually Noah Boucher is appearing under the number 7 here on my screen as well. But we are green flag racing here, folks, at Hickory Motor Speedway with Noah Boucher taking the lead. Steve Cigar is going to be in second place. And these guys following behind them are getting rowdy. We have the first yellow flag out on the field of 52. Has a little bit of a moment there for just a second. Let's see exactly what happens here to this field. It looks like Andrew Payne going to be involved in the first incident here for tonight. Let's take a look at what happens here. Checking up quite well. Doesn't look like he's going to involve himself in any of the carnage. Might have been a separate driver. Let's take a look here with John Sinu, who might have a different perspective of what happened here. So it looks like it happened just a little bit further in front of the 86 machine. Not exactly too certain who was the cause of that incident, but this is a very short battle here, very short race for this first feature here at Hickory Motor Speedway. So little mistakes like that can be very costly. Noah Boucher taking the green flag, leading the field here once again. We have Austin Nielsen, Robert Besaw, both going to be side by side here for third place as they're both duking it out. You can see Robert Besaw. Oh, the yellow flag flies here once again. Leo Lortz looks to be one of the drivers involved here. Let's take a look. Leo in the 108 machine that we're looking with currently. Oh, no, gets hit by John DeMeester in the number 2 machine. John seems to have come flying out of the turn, collecting the 108 of Leo Lortz. into that incident there, sending out the second caution for this race here today. So as I said earlier at the beginning of the broadcast, this is definitely going to be one of the more challenging races for these guys. This track definitely going to prove to a lot of these guys what they're capable of here tonight. And already collecting a few drivers here in the field that's not exactly what we want to see here right off the start of the race. And I'm sure these drivers that have been involved in these incidents are none too pleased either, as we go green flag here once again. Taking a look here, still riding with the number 3 of Robert Besaw in third place right now. Just kind of getting an idea of how these guys are managing around the field. A little bit wider angle here that we can take a look at as we watch around the track. Everyone looking like they're going single file here as well. A smart strategy that seems to settle a lot of these guys out. Once they start to go single file, the racing starts to calm down just a little bit more, and they can focus and put in some more green flag laps here. With only 25 left to go here as well, this race will wind down very quickly. This track, again, very, very short, just over a quarter mile in length. So not exactly a whole lot of time for these guys to really make any major moves happen. But as I say that up front, you can see Steve Cigars in the 973 on the outside of that number 7 of Noah Boucher, trying to make something happen and see if he can possibly take that first place position. Robert Besaw goes sideways as he takes a tap from the 973. Steve Cigars just barely getting into the edge of that number 3 machine. Oh man, that could have been a lot worse too. Man, that was really close. Extremely close in that incident there. Let's see if we can spool up how this exactly unfolded here. This is right before or right after all that happened here. So let's back things up here for just a second. So you can see there, actually, Robert Besaw getting just a little bit too close to that 973. Taps his wheel, sends him sideways. Keeps it together, though. Keeps it on track. Doesn't allow himself to make it any worse than it could have been in that situation. Third caution of the race here today of this duel. The first duel here tonight. With only 22 left to go here, I have a feeling that once these guys kind of get these kinks worked out going into the final duel for tonight, we will see a lot of interesting close racing, I should say. Not quite pack racing, but we are green flag here once again. Still looking here in kind of third place, top 5 right now. Ooh, even looking behind them, you can see Billy Thomas in the number 9 machine on the outside. Charles Darling down low in 6th place right now in that 88 machine. Oh, they scraped the wall just for a moment there. These guys getting a little heavy on the throttle coming out of these turns and sending them into the wall. But again, that's also just how tricky this track is. It's not exactly a very forgiving one, especially when you're at the disadvantage of being on the outside like Billy Thomas currently is at this point in time. But settling out into the rest of the line with the field here, Billy's going to find himself in 9th place right now. Looking up front here, Steve Cigars in the 973 machine, down a position, going to be on the outside of the 52 of Austin Nielsen. It almost looked like they were going to make contact there for just a second. Austin Nielsen on the move here. These guys really trying to push it, really trying to make something happen here, riding on board with the 14, Zach Heiser, for just a moment here, just to get an idea of what it's like to be here at Hickory Motor Speedway inside one of these modifieds. And right now, it looks like Zach Heiser is absolutely on a mission here as he tries to attack and get closer and closer to the 52 of Austin Nielsen. He has the ability to make this work. He just has to stay consistent, and you can see that he is doing everything that he can to try and stay within this pack here up front in the league. Looking behind them just a little bit further, even more so, you can see the 71 of Brett Hahn. 8th place currently right now, worked his way up 2 positions since the start of this race. He's chasing down Brad Prenger in the 151 just out in front of him. Brad Prenger gets sideways, comes out of turn 2, down the back stretch, collects. Looks like the number 9 as well of Billy Thomas in that one. That is not what we want to see for the 71 of Brett Hahn. Getting himself sideways, collecting one other driver as well in that incident. Unfortunate to see that happen. Brett Hahn looking very promising there for quite some time. He was up 2 positions again from where he was, and having that small issue set him back here with only 11 laps left to go in the first duel of the night. I'm sure Brett Hahn is not going to be too enthusiastic about having that happen here tonight. But Noah Boucher in the number 7 machine currently looks to be quite comfortable out in front, as he has led this race, this duel at least, for the entire time here already. Steve Cigars in the 973 has been on the hunt here as well, staying in 2nd place throughout this duel. As the pace car comes in, we're going to see the green flag fly here once more. Noah Boucher taking advantage of being out in front, going to increase that gap as quickly as he possibly can, but there's cars wrecking in the back. They are collecting drivers left and right. Oh, no. Oh, with 10 laps left to go. That was absolute carnage there in that wreck. Let's see if we can possibly find who and where this happened. Oh, the number 3 goes sideways. And that's where it all gets worse from there. A few other drivers getting involved. Majority of the rest of the field, though, doing a good job working their way around that incident, steering clear. And keeping their car clean here for the final 10 laps. Now, again, this probably isn't the way that a lot of these drivers wanted to start this duel here tonight, but sometimes it's how things shake out to be. And right now, oh, you can see right now there's a battle forming just out in front. Hayden Swank in the 35 machine just out in front of the 93 of Andrew Payne, as well as Eric Hahn in the 711. Hayden Swank doing an incredible job trying to stay on the tail now of the 29 of John Kane to attempt to possibly make a pass here with 8 laps left to go. Time is definitely against you. You are definitely going to be pushing yourself to try and make any passes, as Hayden Swank is going to be doing so here around the 29 of John Kane to crack himself even further into the top 10. Hayden Swank now going to be 9th. Will we have a driver sideways collecting even more drivers as well? That's all it takes, folks. It just starts to cascade one from another. One goes sideways, and another one can't stop, and it goes worse from there. The domino effect begins, and it is almost unavoidable. So with 5 laps left to go here for the duel for the Mtn Dew Modified Tour presented by Tagare Property Management. I gotta say this, well, to be fair, I think this went about how I expected it to, as far as how difficult this track was going to be for these drivers here. And not just to say for these drivers specifically, there are quite a number of drivers that we have here on such a short track. 24 drivers in total that are present here tonight, and it looks like actually 23 that are actually currently on the track at this point in time. So but as the pace car comes in with 6 laps left to go here, Noah Boucher is going to be looking to possibly take home the win for the first duel here tonight at Hickory Motor Speedway. And right now, Steve Cigars is looking to potentially maybe get on that inside. Zach Kaiser's thinking possibly to do the same exact thing here as they are fighting it out here with 4 laps left to go. The caution flies. John Kane going to be involved in an incident here. Oh, it looked like, oh no. Let's see what happened here with John Kane looking here at the 29, excuse me. Side by side with Aaron Jupain, and they touch. That collects even more drivers into that incident here as well. With only 3 laps left to go here, as this is definitely, I think, the point in time where drivers are going to definitely want to get this wrapped up and over with and move on to the next duel, to the next feature. It definitely is challenging being here at a track like Hickory with as many drivers on the field that we have, trying to find space, trying to find your own little groove, so to speak. And when people are sliding in and out of the track, it definitely makes it a little bit harder to make that viable. With 3 laps left to go here, we are green flag racing here once again with Noah Boucher out in front. Steve Cigars in second place still. Charles Darling chasing down the top 3 as he's in 4th place. He's got the 151 though of Brad Prenger on his inside, trying to battle it out here for the final lap. There are battles for positions all over the place, and it looks like Charles Darling is at a disadvantage here as we come across the line, checkered line. Noah Boucher takes home the win with Steve Cigars in second. Zach Kaiser gonna be in third for that first heat race here today. And I gotta say, that was an exciting finish. They definitely were putting the pedal to the metal there right at the end, and it's always a great thing to see from these drivers, and it's something that I always look forward to coming here week in and week out here with the American Sim Racing Club for the Mtn Dew Modified Tour. But as the drivers have a little bit of a warm-up here, we are going to take a very quick commercial break here in the booth, and we will be right back in just a moment. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here with more iRacing on Team Goon Squad. Stay tuned.
Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The lead. Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona, the big one is out.
All right, folks, welcome back here to Hickory Motor Speedway for the Mtn Dew Modified Tour presented by Tagare Property Management here with here with American Sim Racing Club. Trying to fight off the burps here, folks. Excuse me. As drivers are starting to get ready to wrap up their warm-up here, I'm curious I've kind of been tossing around up here in the booth and in my head, thinking about how this final duel, 60 laps that we're going to be completing here at Hickory Motor Speedway, how this is going to shape up and how these drivers are going to handle it, given that we've already seen some drivers have a little bit of perhaps struggles throughout the first duel. Now, that's not to say that some drivers may have just been testing the limits, pushing their boundaries, trying to see where exactly they can really push the limits of these cars on this track. And that very well could be the case. So, how that's going to play forward going into the final duel here tonight, well, I think we're going to see some very strong competitors work their way up to the field. Now, some of those drivers being Andrew Payne, Brett Hahn, just to name a couple that I think we'll see up there out front. Hayden Swank might even possibly be able to work his way up into the front of the field here as well. And I'm sure I'm missing a few other drivers who have shown very strong talent here in the Modified Tour. So I expect that we're going to see some exciting battles here for the final duel as drivers wrap up their warm-up for today and we get ready to start our final duel for tonight. And starting out in the front of the field, Noah Boucher in the number 16 machine once again. Steve Cigars in the 973 going to be in second place, rounding out the front of the field. Zach Heiser in the 14 going to be in third, with Brad Penger in the 151 going to be in fourth place, rounding out your second row. Al Smith Jr. in the 96 machine going to be in fifth place, with Charles Darling in the 88 going to be in sixth place, rounding out your third row. Rounding out the top three rows there, David Payton going to be starting out in seventh place, with Nick Fleury in eighth, Hayden Swank in ninth, Eric Hahn going to be in 10th place, Rex Hoyle in 11th, Brett Hahn going to be in 12th place, with Nathan Henry in 13th, Billy Thomas in 14th, Andrew Payne in 15th, John Kane in 16th, Austin Nielsen in 17th, Brent Seagars in 18th, Robert Besaw Jr. in 19th, Christopher Campbell in 20th, John Sinu in 21st, John DeMeester in 22nd, Leo Lortz in 23rd. And that will round out our field here for tonight. Excuse me, with Jacob Porter actually rounding out the field in 24th. Tanner Tallarico, not a driver here in this series particularly, but is race control, is overseeing the event and make sure that everything goes smoothly here for these events here. So great to have Tanner here. But as drivers get lined up behind the pace car here, double file as well. That also is going to shake things up here for these guys right off the start of this race for the final duel. We've seen already that when these guys all get side by side with one another, that is when things start to get quite interesting. And here we go, folks. The pace cars come down pit road, and the green flag is flying here once again. The field quickly trying to settle out here into single file as quickly as they reasonably can. You have a couple drivers going double too wide here in certain spots, but as we're looking up here in kind of the top 10, you see everyone starting to go double file, but Austin Nielsen in the 52 machine going to involve himself in an incident here. Let's take a look at what happened in the number 52 machine. Looking a little bit closer, you can see the 52 down on the inside line coming into turn one. Looks like everything is okay. And here we go. Looks like Eric Hahn spooks the 52, excuse me. And Austin gets on the brakes a little bit too much and sends it sideways, locking up the brakes at the same time. Doesn't collect anyone else into that incident here as well. So great job from Austin keeping it out of the track and away from other drivers, making that a clean one-car incident. Albeit it comes at the cost of being down a few more positions than where he was initially. But Austin sure is going to be making the best of it and going to slowly work his way back up to where he was and hopefully up even further. But as we get ready here to go green here once again, right as I switch to the leaders, the green flag flies. We are side by side here. Oh no, second place, Steve Cigars, he collects more drivers. They all collide with one another. Oh no, folks, this is absolute carnage here on the track. Oh no. This is awful. This is absolutely not what we wanted to see here. Oh, no. Right on the restart. So let's take a look here. And the whole field behind them just comes to a complete stop as the carnage is all over the track. Look at that. That is absolutely a sad sight to see here, folks. Definitely not what we want to see here after a restart. Second caution here for the second dual feature of the night. Lap 4 of 60. And we are green flag racing here once again. And I gotta say, guys, this is definitely pretty much... Oh, well, sorry, we're watching with Charles Darling. He goes sideways. Gets a little loose, not able to quite keep it together. That's going to send him down into the grass on the back stretch, or what little bit of grass there is back there. Throwing out the now third caution for our second dual feature, and it's only lap 4. So looking like this time around, we are going to be single file on this restart. As it seems like this is the safest way for these guys to get going and get some green flag racing in. Lap 4 of 60 here at Hickory Motor Speedway. The Mtn Dew Modified Tour, presented by Tagare Property Management, and we are green flag here once again. Noah Boucher out in the lead in that number 7 machine, with Hayden Swank following closely behind in the 35, with Nathan Henry just behind in the 59, following in third place currently. Getting a great view of that field here, there. And looking just a little bit further back in 7th place, Billy Thomas in the number 9 machine. Kind of just looking through the field here, seeing where drivers are finding themselves. Lap 7 of 60. We are going to be racing here as another driver is finding himself in a little bit of a moment. That's the, looks like the 31, the 51 of Christopher Campbell. Oh no, going to involve himself in an incident. That is definitely not what we want to see here. Our 4th caution coming out here for the race. Oh, folks, I gotta say, this is definitely, well, I feel bad for the drivers that are having to deal with this right now. Frankly, you know, the stop, the restart, you know, the constant stop and go, it's not helpful. It definitely there's a certain point where, as a driver, as a racer, you just want to do that. You just want to drive the car. You want to race. You want to do what you're there to do. And when we're kind of put in these positions where it's just little things happening here and there, it definitely can affect a lot of the driver's mindset. It can definitely make them a little bit, well, a little bit careless, I should say, is a word I could use in that sentence. There's a multitude of different ways that drivers are affected by it. Just multiple restarts, but so far so good for a lot of these guys here out in front, and really a lot of the drivers that have been able to avoid those collisions that have seemingly collected a very large chunk of our field here tonight. As we're looking with Rex Hoyle in the number 54 machine in 4th place currently, Andrew Payne just behind him in the number 93. You can see Rex Hoyle is doing a great job just trying to stay out in front of that number 93 machine, but tracking down that 59 of Nathan Henry is ultimately his goal here, and to work his way around is what he's going to want to attempt to do here in lap 12 of 60. There's plenty of time to make that happen. And you can see just how close these guys are getting here as well. It's absolutely amazing just how close to one another that these guys are. So we ride on board here for a moment with Andrew Payne in the number 93 machine. A great view there as he follows behind the 54 of Rex Hoyle. Great racing from the 93 machine. We're looking just behind Andrew Payne, Brett Hahn, the 71 machine, almost getting collected in that small incident there as a driver goes sideways. Doesn't seemingly collect anyone else. Rex Hoyle going to be involved in that one in the 54. The caution comes out here once again here at Hickory Motor Speedway for the 5th time for our second dual caution. And again, folks, this is where drivers start to get a little antsy. You know, they want to get this race going and just have a good race. You don't want to have to deal with these stop and goes all the time. It's definitely not how you want to have a race go. So as these guys work their way back around the field behind the pace car, get themselves lined back up and ready for another restart. Right now it's looking very promising for Noah Boucher that if he's able to defend his position from Hayden Swank and also from Brad Hahn, who's ever so surely but slowly working his way up into the top 3. And eventually, I'm sure, will find himself looking for that first place position. But we are going to be getting green flag racing here once again as the green flag flies. Lap 18 of 60. We're looking here with Brett Hahn in the 71 machine as he is in 4th place currently right now. You can see out in front, it looks like Hayden Swank was able to take that lead from Noah Boucher before our very eyes. Hayden Swank now our race leader for the second dual feature of tonight. Hayden Swank doing impressive work in that 35. Noah Boucher now. Is he going to be able to regain that regain that spot, take the lead back, and be able to come out tonight with 2 wins under his belt. As Hayden Swank is now trying to pull away from this field, Billy Thomas in the number 9 machine down low of the 59 of Nathan Henry, trying to crack his way even further into the top 5. They tap tires for just a moment. Billy Thomas able to get away from that, though, as quickly as possible. You can see as well, just behind him, the 29 of John Kane. Getting closer and closer. These guys almost going side by side for just a moment as well. Lap 24 of 60 here. We are almost to the halfway point of this race, and right now I think a lot of these guys are settling in, trying to find what works best for them and really stick to it and make it work. As this is going to be not necessarily a long, but a rather extensive shootout here to the end of the race. And right now you can see Robert Besaw Jr. on the inside. The 29 of John Kane, they're going to be duking it out for P5. It's Robert Besaw just slowly able to work his way out in front of that number 29 machine. Now he's going to be 5th place in the top 5. Great work from the number 3, Robert Besaw Jr. John Kane, though, not going to be quite too pleased with that, as he's going to now want to try and work his way back around that number 3 machine. But you can see here, we've seen it all night, just how difficult it is to actually make a pass happen here at Hickory. So all of these guys, though, doing a great job trying to keep with it, really try and push these cars as aggressively as they possibly can. And it's truly fantastic how well a lot of these drivers are doing here tonight, even despite the minor hiccups that we've seen throughout the race already. But Hayden Swank still our leader currently with Noah Boucher in 2nd place. Brett Hahn now in 3rd place, and he's going to be knocking on the door of that 35 machine very, very shortly if he's able to work his way around the 7 of Noah Boucher. But I definitely wouldn't put it past Brett Hahn that he's going to be able to do that here. It's just a matter of when and where that Brett Hahn is going to try and make that happen. Let's ride on board with Brett Hahn for just a moment and have a listen to that number 71 machine. Some great racing that we're seeing out of the 71 machine of Brett Hahn here tonight. I gotta say, too, and Eric Hahn, actually the father of Brett Hahn, going to be involved in a wreck here. It looks like the yellow flag is going to come out with 23 laps left to go here. Let's see exactly what happens here with the 711 machine. Looks like Charles Darling just behind him in the 88. And Charles just barely taps the rear end, sending Eric up high into the wall. Eric Hahn able to recover. It doesn't look like his machine received too much damage, so he's going to keep it out on track. Keep that machine rolling and keep on racing. A little racing incident never hurt anybody, and that seemed to be pretty minor in of itself. So great work from Eric keeping that one together, and great work from Charles from not letting that spiral into a much worse situation. But 23 laps left to go here, folks. I gotta say, this has been some pretty top-notch racing from a lot of these guys. It's been difficult. It's been challenging, and especially out front, we've seen Hayden Swank, Noah Boucher also battling it out front, and Brett Hahn actually working his way up into the top 3 now, and going to be challenging those guys up there in the front. So I'm going to be expecting here, once we get closer and closer to probably the final 10 laps, that the action is really going to start to spice up here. But we are going to be green flag racing here once again. And right now, Hayden Swank going to be trying to take away the lead here, getting as far away from that 16 as he possibly can. But looking at the 29 of John Kane in 8th place right now, you can see just on his outside, Nathan Henry in the 59 machine getting very squirrely. Ray on the outside looking. Oh, Nathan falling back there just for quite a bit there. Going to fall right in line with the rest of the field here. But overall, looks like a lot of these guys doing exactly the same thing here as well, just trying to fall in line and settle out where they can. You can kind of also see Noah Boucher maybe even trying to throw up some defense here for that 2nd place position, as Brett Hahn starting to work his way into the inside, going into turn 1, not able to make it stick this time around, but just behind him, Brent Seagars duking it out here with the number 3 of Robert Besaw for that 4th place position as well. These guys absolutely pushing it here, going into the final few laps. Noah Boucher's gonna go sideways. He goes up for a ride. The number 9, Billy Thomas, gonna get collected in that as well. That's gonna send out another yellow flag here at Hickory Motor Speedway for the Mtn Dew Modified Tour, presented by Tagare Property Management. I gotta say, folks, with 16 laps left to go, this is, oh man, definitely has shown that Hickory is a very unforgiving track, regardless of who you are, and it is out to collect drivers. And so far, it has done exactly that. So everyone here, despite that, though, doing as best as they can, trying to make what they can happen, and frankly, doing a good job of it here as well. So gotta give a round of applause to our field here for doing a good job in this race, despite just how difficult it probably is there behind the wheel. So credits to those guys, and let's continue to finish out this race here as we go green flag racing once again. Hayden Swank leading the field here out in front. We got action just behind him. They're almost 3 wide there for just a moment, it looked like. Oh man, Brent Seagars in the 990 machine battling it out here with Andrew Payne for the 4th place position right now. Brent Seagars now chasing down the number 3 of Robert Besaw, and you can see just in front of them as well, Brent Hahn and Hayden Swank both now going to be battling it out here. Noah Boucher as well, having unfortunately been taken out of the lead and put all the way back now into 11th place. I'm sure Noah not too happy in that number 7 machine right now after having fallen back that far after such a relatively small mistake or incident. Now, this top 5 here has got a lot of potential here to shake up with only 12 laps left to go. Hayden Swank is absolutely trying his hardest to keep out in front of Brett Hahn here in the 71 machine. But Hayden has a lot of work ahead of him, and still 11 laps left to go. 10 as we just crossed the line. Gonna come out of turn 2 here, down the back stretch. Oh man. things are looking spicy in this number 71 machine, and you can also see Hayden Swank doing everything he can to make sure that 35 machine is placed in the right spot to not allow the 71 an opportunity to get around. So a lot of great defense being put up from these guys here as we enter into the final few laps. Lap 8, or 8 laps left to go, excuse me. And this top 3 has continued to battle. And even looking here just a little bit wider, Brett Hahn gives a little bit of a tap to the 35. We saw there just for a moment Brett Hahn making sure that Hayden knows, hey, I'm putting the pressure on you, buddy. I'm here. With 6 laps left to go here as well, and I'm sure that Brett Hahn is eager to try and take home a win for tonight. But as the caution comes out, with 5 laps left to go, John DeMeester looks like he's going to be involved in an incident here in the number 2 machine. Let's take a look at what happens here. So we work our way down the back stretch. It gets loose. Coming out of turn 2, the rear end gets away from him. And that sends him down the bottom of the track. John able to recover, keep it together. Number 2 machine not suffering any damage. It's great to see that the 2 is still out on track and here to complete the final 5 laps here at Hickory Motor Speedway. Work our way down back stretch. Out of turn 4, the green flag will fly. Hayden Swank still out in the lead. 5 laps left to go. Brett Hahn, is he going to be able to work his way around that 35 to take the lead and take home a win here tonight for Hickory Motor Speedway? Robert Besaw Jr. still in 3rd place in that number 3 machine, starting to fall back just a little bit from the 2 out in front. Andrew Payne trailing just closely behind in 4th place, however, in that 93 machine, going to be looking to see if he can potentially crack his way into the top 3. 3 laps left to go, 2 as we cross the line. Here we go, folks. This is the driver's last chance to dance. Hayden Swank, our current race leader, still out in front. Brett Hahn in the 71 machine in 2nd place. This is our final lap. Robert Besaw Jr. still in 3rd place. We have drivers just behind him getting very, very close to one another, almost tapping into one another. Hayden Swank goes sideways. Brett Hahn, oh no, Andrew Payne takes it across the checkered line for the win. Oh, ASRC race leaders collect into one another. Oh no, what a way to win tonight here at Hickory Motor Speedway for the final duel of the night. Andrew Payne taking home the win. Oh, in the last second of the race. What a way to take home the win tonight. Andrew Payne doing a great job here, as he is going to do some burnouts on the front stretch after just an incredible feature race here tonight. Now, folks, we're going to do things a little unorthodox here. We're going to actually start off our post-race interviews with Noah Boucher, going to be the first up in the booth here tonight, the winner of the first duel of the night. Noah Boucher in the number 7 machine. Noah, sir, do you have a read?
I can't get I can't. I don't have a mic set up TeamSpeak at the moment.
That is all right, Noah. Well, I want to congratulate you, if you can still hear me, on taking home the win for the first duel tonight. And that was a very close attempt at being able to take home the win as well for the last duel feature tonight. But Noah, I want to thank you for still coming up here and attempting to chat with us up here in the booth. But Noah, congratulations again, and hopefully going forward we can see some similar success and maybe get to talk to you again going forward. But Noah, thank you again for coming up here. I will let you head back up and chat with the guys, and I will hopefully see you next race. Thank you for coming up here, Noah. All right, everyone. Excuse me for that. Noah Boucher going to be out of the booth here after a little bit of an impromptu interview here. But our final driver that we're going to be having a quick word with, Andrew Payne in the number 93 machine. We're going to be bringing in here for just a moment. Andrew, sir, do you have a read? Hello, Andrew. Do you have a read?
Yep, I do.
Andrew, there's not really a whole lot of ways that you can put what just happened into words, other than just pure miracle. Andrew, you took home the win for the second duel tonight for Hickory. How are you feeling right now, my friend?
Oh my gosh, that one definitely caught me off guard. I don't really have any words for that. Except for heck yeah, that was I guess that's one way to win them. Only led one lap the entire night, and it was coming to the checkered flag. So, I mean, I got super lucky there. Even after kind of having to, come from the back a couple times. Claiming a couple cautions. So, but oh my gosh, I'm speechless after that one.
Absolutely. I was almost speechless after I saw the leaders collide, and all of a sudden I see the 93 machine come around the outside of the incident and across the checkered line, and all of a sudden Andrew Payne is the winner of the race. Andrew, what a way to come out and win the race, almost unexpectedly. And you were doing quite fantastic throughout both the first duel and the second. So I was expecting the 93 here to do quite well, but coming out and winning at the last minute, Andrew, I didn't exactly have that in the books here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, obviously went out and won the pole tonight, and then had to go to the back for my shotgun from last week. And the car was fast. It's really hard to pass here, as you can probably tell. I kind of got unlucky a couple times with, having to claim a couple cautions going to the back. I mean, they were all my fault and stuff, and I rightfully went to the back for my stuff. But yeah, I got really lucky, and I avoiding that huge one in the main event was, kind of saved my race as a whole in general, no matter where I finished tonight. And it was honestly a battle of just trying to avoid wrecks all night, and apparently we weren't done wrecking until about the start finish line, and I about wrecked myself coming to the white flag. I got the wall and almost went over, and I was at that point in time I was kind of satisfied with that fourth place finish, and then I back in my mind I kind of was maybe predicting that something would happen with everyone coming to the checkered flag, but and just giving myself the opportunity to run high. But yeah, I guess I got kind of lucky with that win, but top five would have been satisfied, and that's kind of where I was running. But I'll take a win any day.
Absolutely. I think a podium is always a good thing to walk away from with a race. So, Andrew, congratulations on taking home the win tonight at the last second here as well. But Andrew, before I let you go and before you crack one open and celebrate tonight, is there anyone at home, anyone watching the broadcast that you want to shout out or thank before you go?
First of all, I'd like to thank all of the title sponsors, Tagare Property Management, PepsiCo, Frito-Lay, Mountain Dew, without them, we wouldn't be, running here tonight, and I wouldn't be talking with you, Mason. Thank you guys at Team Goon Squad for broadcasting, and thank you, Mason, for calling the shots each and every week for this series. Some personal sponsors I'd like to thank: V&H Fresh, Citrus Hat Saw and Mower, Hall Metal Fab, QuickTime Motorsports Media. Thank my parents and grandparents for sticking with me from real life racing to sim racing. Huge thanks to the admins and everyone who supports the league. And yeah.
Absolutely, Andrew. Well, again, thank you for coming up here and chatting with me in the booth. And again, congratulations on taking home the win. Hopefully, we can see some more similar success going into the final 3 races after we take a short little break next week and come back for the final few races of the season, Andrew. Let's have a good final few races, and hopefully we can have some similar conversations before the end of the season here as well.
Yep. Thank you, Mason.
Absolutely, Andrew. Have a great night.
You too.
All right, folks. Andrew Payne in the number 93 machine, taking home the win for our second dual feature tonight out of the booth. And before I let everyone go here, before we wrap up tonight's broadcast, I would just like to thank everyone for tuning into the broadcast. If you enjoyed watching, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned with all the action that we have here on Team Goon Squad 7 days a week. Thank you all for tuning in. My name is Mason Heimbaugh here with Team Goon Squad. We won't be tuning in here next week, same time, same place, but we will be here the week afterwards, so make sure you're here, same time, same place, and I look forward to seeing you all then. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.
Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona's a pit. What is out?